Good afternoon. Thank you so much for tuning into another episode of Dr. Drjloknows. Today I want to talk to you about patience. Yup, the kind of patience you learned all about when you were in kindergarten. You've heard the phrase that everything we need to know in life we were taught in kindergarten. Well, that is in fact a truism. Maybe not entirely, but with regard to patience, it's certainly true. And sadly, I see less and less patience, not the kind of like client's patience, you're with me so far, in my office. When people are talking to each other, oh my God, they just talk over each other. Somebody will say how something makes them feel, and the other person will say, well, how do you think that makes me feel? As if the first person said absolutely nothing. They just talk right over each other. And one of the things that I try to help people understand is that just because you feel something, it doesn't give you the right to say it in that particular moment. There's a time when turn taking is required, and it's not just about waiting for the other person to finish talking. It's about asking them a couple of questions, asking them what they think or feel about what they just said. Is there anything else they want to say about that before you go ahead and respond? So I've done a couple Dr. Drjloknows videos about this very thing. However, I want to take it a step further and apply the actual art of patience to this interchange. Now, patience done well has three components, and the first is self-control. Like I just said, just because you feel something when somebody is talking to you and takes a breath, or maybe they're done, it doesn't mean that's the moment that you interject and say, well, how do you think that makes me feel? Or, I have a problem with that. No, you take a breath and you say, okay, in a couple of minutes, I'm gonna have my turn. But that doesn't mean you tune out from what the other person is saying. So self-control is a key component of patience, of life, but it is so underrated. The second is humility, that sometimes when somebody is talking and taking up airspace, they have a right to do that. They have a right to think about what they're saying, to take an extra second, to take a breath. Just because somebody's taking a breath, it doesn't mean that's the moment for you to jump in. Have a little humility. Give the person some space to have their turn. And the third thing is generosity. What? How does generosity have anything to do with being patient? Well, generosity means, you know what? You can smile a little bit. The world is not conspiring against you. It may feel that way. Holy cow. We all know that feeling of, oh my God, the world really is conspiring against me. But the truth is, no, it isn't. Patience, smile. It's gonna all turn around one day. The whole gratitude is an attitude thing. All of this comes into play when we're talking about being patient. Each component in its own right, I could talk about for an hour. But when you think about being patient, just number one, be glad you're even thinking about it because it's a lost art these days. But remember, it's three components: self-control, humility, and generosity. All of these things come together to form a complete picture so the person you're talking to actually feels like you care. Thanks so much for tuning into another episode of Dr. Drjloknows. I really appreciate your stopping by, truly.